Hello everybody, and thank you for tuning in to the weekly report. Free speech is worth fighting for. We do not have free speech to talk about the weather. Our founders, particularly James Madison, who drafted the Bill of Rights, understood that our rights are not privileges granted to us by our government. No, it was understood at the founding that these basic natural rights outlined by Madison were granted by our Creator, and thus no mere mortal could take them away. And first among these is the First Amendment, which recognizes that most basic of our natural rights, the right to express ourselves in any way we wish. Unfortunately, the U.S. government has not always been in accord with this sentiment and has many times in our history been at war with our freedom of speech. From the Alien and Sedition Acts at the beginning of our republic, to Abraham Lincoln's war on speech, to the jailing of anti-war activists during both World War I and II, the political class is all for free speech unless it is threatening to the political class. Recently, a new front has been opened in the war on the free speech, and it is one that Americans must take seriously. On university campuses across the country, students, both American and foreign guests, have taken to protesting U.S. support for Israel's actions in Gaza, where tens of thousands of innocent civilians have been killed. The political class in the United States is determined to defend Israel from its critics and has responded to these protests by threatening and blackmailing the universities if they do not crack down on speech the power that be do not like. Both President Biden and Trump have used the power of the U.S. government funding to demand a crackdown on speech they don't like, with President Trump recently pooling $400 million in federal funding for Columbia University if they don't silence the protesters. The real scandal is that nearly every U.S. university, both public and private, is government funded in the first place. But for politicians to use the power of the purse to deny students the right to express themselves as long as peaceful just adds insults to injury. Last week, a Turkish PhD student at Tufts University was arrested on the street by plainclothes government agents for reportedly simply writing an editorial in her university newspaper expressing her views on the Israeli-Palestine conflict. She faces deportation from the country, and she is not alone. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has openly bragged about sending hundreds of students home because they express a political position he disagrees with. Others, including American citizens, have been expelled from their schools and have even had their degrees rescinded for peacefully expressing a political position that powerful people in Washington disagree with. You may also agree with the political position of these students, but to cheer their punishment by the U.S. government is to turn your back on the founding principles of this country. Freedom of speech is a natural right, not reserved for American citizens, but for all humanity. And it has been a natural right worth defending for nearly 250 years. First, they came for foreign students expressing controversial positions, and many Americans cheered because they were not foreign and did not like the opinions. But make no mistake, this war on speech will not end with only foreigners being punished. It never does. Thanks for listening.